Right now, a missing Milwaukee area man found dead in Grant County. What officials are saying is a vigil is planned for later tonight.
Also, family and loved ones remembering Tony Robinson 8 years after he was shot and killed by a Madison police officer.
And later, calls for updated safe haven laws after a baby is found dead in a whitewater field over the weekend. You're watching News 3 Now at 6. We begin in Grant County, where a man who had been reported missing since December was found dead yesterday.
34-year-old Ronald Henry's body was found in some woods in the Ellenboro Township northwest of Platteville. Henry was reported missing on December 5th. Sheriff's officials say a teenager was walking in the woods Sunday when he found a body in a ravine about a mile south of where Henry was last seen. An investigation confirmed that it is Henry's body. Officials said the ravine was just outside the 2,800-acre search conducted in January. An autopsy will be conducted later this week to determine Henry's cause of death, and an investigation remains open. Tonight at 6:30, a vigil will be held in Platteville for Henry, and that's where we find McKenna Alexander, who joins us now with more details. McKenna?
Yeah, we're here at City Hall Park, where in just about half an hour, people will be gathering underneath this pavilion behind me to mourn Ronald. Now, lots of emotion from friends and family members as posts are just pouring in on social media. On one Facebook group that's been tracking Ronald's disappearance, it's been reported his family is kind of all over the country, with a lot of them in Milwaukee. So we're unsure if family will be attending tonight's vigil. But for the community members here in Platteville, tonight's vigil will bring closure, which is something that the organizer says is really crucial when managing a grief of this level.
And he is somebody's child. He's somebody's father. He's somebody's brother. And to be able to have that relief that he at least has found. How it happened, you can't change that. It won't bring him back. But I want to be able to at least give people that knew him and give his family the opportunity to grieve with others. And it's going to be okay. To remind them it's going to be okay.
Now, again, tonight's vigil is starting in just a little bit here at 6:30. We'll be sure to bring you coverage of it tonight at 10. But for now, live in Platteville, McKenna Alexander, News 3 Now.
McKenna, thank you. As his grandmother continues different avenues to justice, the community continues to mourn Tony Robinson with a rally tonight outside the home where he was killed. And that's where we find our Armand Rahman now. Armand?
Eric and Charlotte, people have just started gathering here outside of the house where Robinson was killed on Willie Street. I'll step outside here. As you can see, candles are beginning to be handed out for the candlelight vigil. Many people bringing signs as well, reading "Justice for Tony," and Tony should be here. We're told, according to the Facebook event, that after the candlelight vigil around 6:38, there will be a moment of silence for Tony as well. After that, there were going to be some remarks said from his family members as well. And the goal here seems to be to celebrate the life of Tony Robinson Jr. I'll have more on that tonight on News 3 Now at 10. For now, live in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. Of course, today, the 8th anniversary of his death. It was mild today, a winter storm possible late in the week. Let's check with Gary for the latest.
Well, we do have a first warned weather alert day in the forecast for the next winter storm. Seems like we have to have one, or at least be threatened by one a week. Let's start out by taking a look at that first warned weather alert day. This is for Thursday night and Friday for the potential right now for a moderate snowfall, somewhere in the 3 to 6 inch range. Certainly will cause travel problems. Not looking for a major winter storm, most likely, but there is the potential for heavier snow than what we're expecting. On Doppler track tonight, just some very light snow up through the Fox Valley, extending down into parts of our viewing area, mainly northern portions of Dodge County, north of Beaver Dam, and up toward Waupun and over into Green Lake County. Most of that moving off to the east, and we'll be out of the area within the next hour or so. 6-hour future track radar doesn't show anything beyond that. High temperatures today made it up into the 40s from Madison southward. Madison topped out at 41. It was almost 50 in Janesville, but to the north, temperatures stayed in the middle 30s, and right now those 30s are spreading southward. Even Janesville's down to 37 degrees, 37 in Platteville, 37 in Lone Rock and across Dane County, 36 right now in McFarland, 36 in Deerfield, and 37 the current temperature in Cross Plains. Look for mostly cloudy skies. Those temperatures staying nearly steady right around 35 degrees this evening. Should be mainly dry, but we'll take a look at that winter storm potential in more detail and how much snow we can expect in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. Heartbreaking news from the weekend. Whitewater police are investigating after a newborn was found dead in a field. Officers and paramedics were called to the 700 block of North Tratt Street just after 11 a.m. Saturday after receiving a report about the newborn.
Advocates for updated safe haven laws say a situation like this could be prevented with new legislation. Our Catherine Merck spoke with one woman about her pleas to lawmakers.
I spoke with one Madison woman who is passionate about bringing baby drop boxes like these to the state. We don't know if that would have helped in Whitewater, but she believes updating our state's current laws could save many baby lives.
It's so easily preventable.
Wendy Thompson says she's passionate about bringing baby boxes to Wisconsin in order to prevent newborn deaths like the one that happened in Whitewater.
This is why we need to change that law to allow for the boxes.
The law she's talking about allows a parent to leave their unharmed newborn child with police or emergency medical staff if the parent hands the child to them directly. Wendy says this doesn't keep parents completely anonymous like a baby box would.
Wisconsin needs to rewrite the current safe haven law to allow for safe haven baby boxes.
The drop boxes may be something that people want to explore.
We asked State Republican Representative Barbara Dietrich about why there currently isn't an option to be completely anonymous when surrendering a child.
Wisconsin does not currently have those. You relinquish to a person. And for a number of reasons, Wisconsin has felt that's really good policy.
That's not enough for Wendy Thompson.
I seriously believe if this mother would have had a box, knew where it was, had a way to get to it, she would have put that baby in the box instead of this.
There's still many things we don't know about what happened in Whitewater, like if the parents were even involved. Both this representative and this advocate say there are other options out there that wouldn't end in a child's death.
We don't know all the details, but I felt very sad for everyone involved, and it just doesn't have to be this way.
It's a sad story that could have been prevented.
Representative Dietrich also said there could be other ways to help women in these situations, like having OBGYNs taught to educate women on their options from the moment that they're pregnant.
Catherine, thank you. Today, Madison city leaders announced plans to file a federal lawsuit against Kia and Hyundai, alleging the car manufacturers have failed to install anti-theft technology in their vehicles. Now, both companies' vehicles have been targets of widespread thefts over the past year because of security vulnerabilities that allowed thieves to start a car using nothing more than a screwdriver and a USB cable. Thefts have become so pervasive that local police departments have offered up steering wheel locks and recommended theft prevention software updates to deter would-be thieves.
When I learned that 90+% of other makes and models have a really common sense theft prevention devices in them and programming in them, and that Kia and Hyundai don't, that just felt like, listen, this is an industry best practice that wasn't followed, and it has cost a lot of time and energy.
According to data from the Madison Police Department, Kia and Hyundai thefts in the summer of 2022 increased by 270% compared to the year prior. Vehicles from both manufacturers accounted for just under half of all vehicle thefts in Madison between July and August of 2022.
A school district in southeastern Wisconsin is apologizing after a Beloit basketball team found racist messages inside a locker room. Muskego Norway Schools is apologizing for behavior that they say occurred during a boys basketball game between Muskego High School and Beloit Memorial High School on Friday. Beloit parents recorded video of Muskego students wearing black ski masks and tank tops. Ashley Hereford, the mother of a Beloit Memorial varsity basketball player, calls the actions she witnessed from Muskego students appalling and offensive.
Clearly what they were trying to portray with their student section, they were trying to depict what they thought that our Black culture and what our kids dress like.
Muskego Norway Schools says it's what happened with the help of the Muskego Police Department. Beloit administrators say they're also taking part in Muskego's investigation. Well, the weather may be starting to warm up, but the need for help to cover heating and cooling costs does not go away. News 3 Now is once again partnering with the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and Energy Service, Inc. for a day of warmth. It's a telethon and donation drive to raise money for those in need all across the state. It'll be held this Thursday afternoon between 4 and 6:30 p.m., but you can donate ahead of time. There's more information on channel3000.com. Still ahead, the Madison Diocese reveals how it plans to bring people back to pews and grow its community.
Plus, the Better Business Bureau unveils the top scams of 2022. Which one they say is the riskiest? Just ahead.
Dan Kelly won't keep our community safe. As a lawyer, Kelly defended child sex predators who posed as ministers in order to prey on vulnerable young girls. They lured young children to locations they believed to be safe, only to sexually assault and molest them. And Dan Kelly defended those monsters. Do you want someone like that on the Supreme Court? Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
For sure.
At Lawton Cates, Your Life Counts is more than just a slogan. It's providing guidance after a serious accident. From the first phone call, we're by your side, helping with the important decisions. Not just for your medical care, but for your family's peace of mind. The Lawton Cates team combines experience and genuine compassion because we know how much is at stake. And we're dedicated to ensuring you can heal and move forward. At Lawton Cates, Your Life Counts. Call today for a free consultation.
I'm Ken Pearrett, and this is my John Deere. We run about 3,000 acres of crop ground and 100 head of beef cattle. Number one thing that stands out when it comes to Sloan's is service. And we had some issues with the new ExactEmerge planter, and Kyle himself, the store manager, and one of the lead mechanics on the planters, came down on a Sunday afternoon, and they got us going. And that's going above and beyond. And that's why I think Sloan's first.
Oils.
And welcome back. The Diocese of Madison wants to bring more people back to the pews and grow the community. Its three-phase plan called Into the Deep aims to better use resources in order to focus on growing congregations. The new plan calls for members of the diocese to prioritize attending Mass, engage with young people, and evangelize and serve others in the community. Parishes will also be grouped together into 30 different pastorates. Led by a team of priests, diocesan officials say this will allow priests to work together instead of one priest overseeing multiple churches and ministries. The new pastorate structure goes into effect July 1st.
Employment scams are now the second riskiest kind of scam, according to a new report from the Better Business Bureau. Employment scam reports submitted to BBB scam trackers were up 23.1% from 2021 to 2022. Online purchase scams were again the #1 riskiest scam type for ages 35 to 64. Home improvement scams were the #1 riskiest for ages 65 plus.
Online purchase scams make up 30% or more of all scams that are reported with us. And what people are looking for when they go online and they type in a product is an item that's must-have. Maybe it's something cute that they saw on a social media site that leads them to a website that turns out to be fake.
Scams perpetrated online were more likely to result in a monetary loss compared with scams being targeted by phone or in person.
After the break, a programming update on the upcoming state Supreme Court debate, what could be the candidates' only meeting before the election.
Plus, we'll preview an amendment also on the ballot and how it could change the way judges determine bail.
And could we see some more snow this week? Gary with your complete forecast when we come back.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
If you've had a classic Reuben before, then Arby's Reuben will taste quite familiar. But if you haven't, man, oh man, are you in for a wild ride. Arby's, we have the meats,
You know what that sound means. It's spring break at Bob's Discount Furniture, and I've got fresh new dining furniture that will make you a hosting hero. My collections serve major style. Many come in dining and counter heights, include 6 chairs, keep storage on the menu, and with my everyday low prices, complete sets start at just $5.99. Take a break from overpriced stores and stressful haggling this spring break at Bob's. What's that? A tiny dining set for birds? Genius!
This is the house that Angels built. Attic Angels Senior Living Community is built on a foundation of authentic, local care. A framework for living well. Windows to take in the beautiful future. And it's crowned by the pride that one's home is one's castle. This is the house that Angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living. Built with the help of angels.
News 3 Now is always on.
Download the Channel 3000 app and we will send you local breaking news as it happens.
The Channel 3000 app. Get it now.
Powered by News 3 Now.
When you go to vote in April, you'll see a constitutional amendment on your ballot.
You'll get a chance to vote on how bail is determined in Wisconsin. And new this week, we have details on what that will look like. Political reporter Will Keneally is here to explain.
That's right. So we have cash bail in Wisconsin. Right now, it's just to make sure that a defendant shows up to trial. Now, this amendment would allow judges to raise bail if they think a defendant will cause serious harm to the community. But what exactly does serious harm mean? We're getting a clear picture with a bill that is up for debate this week.
January, Representative Duco and I promised that we'd have a trailer bill or a sunrise bill would be coming allowing the proposed constitutional amendment to be effective if ratified by voters. So this is that bill.
These are the specifics that were promised when the legislature was putting the bail reform amendment on the April ballot. They want voters to approve a change, allowing judges to consider when setting bail a defendant's past convictions of violent crimes and whether they pose a threat of serious harm to the community. You won't see any definitions of those on the ballot, but we now know what those mean.
For the purpose of bail, we developed a definition of serious harm by evaluating the many existing statutory definitions of harm.
The lawmakers are pulling from other definitions of harm, like physical harm, mental anguish, or significant property damage. Any risk of those, and judges would be able to raise the cash amount of bail.
There are studies over and over and over again that demonstrate that this so-called common sense connection between the gravity of the charged offense and what's necessary to assure appearance, that those two things don't connect.
Some advocates say tying bail to cash creates a 2-tier justice system for those who have money and those who don't.
I'm not even going to call it the justice system. I'm going to call it the punishment system.
I think you will find that the process we went through to develop these definitions was thorough and thoughtful.
So the Assembly Judiciary Committee is poised to approve the bill tomorrow, and it could be sent to the governor's desk before the April election.
Will, thank you. In a little more than 2 weeks, former Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Dan Kelly and Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Janet Protasiewicz will face off in a debate organized by News 3 Now, WISC Politics, and the State Bar of Wisconsin. The debate will be held on Tuesday, March 21st at 12:45 p.m. in Madison at State Bar Center on East Park Boulevard. It's open to the public, and those interested in attending should RSVP to the State Bar of Wisconsin. At 4 p.m., News 3 Now will broadcast the debate in place of Live at 4. It will also be streamed on channel3000.com and Channel 3000 Plus.
Mild start to the work week. We could see some snow by the end of it. Here's Gary in your complete forecast.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend. Tonight, we've got some light rain and snow showers moving through the northeastern portion of our viewing area, mainly northern portions of Dodge County. It's moved out of Green Lake County for the most part, and some rain showers farther south to just north of Milwaukee. 6-hour future track radar shows all of that moving off to the east, and we're not looking for anything other than mostly cloudy skies overnight. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for dry weather for the next couple of days with high temperatures in the middle 40s for both tomorrow and for Wednesday. Thursday will be a transition day with some rain and snow shower chances in the afternoon, but that will change to snow Thursday night and Friday, and we're looking for snow likely at that point. There's also a chance for some snow showers on Sunday, and with that snow on the ground, temperatures will be cold with highs only in the 30s this weekend and into the first part of next week. We have a first warned weather alert alert day in the forecast for Thursday night and Friday for right now we're looking at a moderate snowfall, somewhere in the 3 to 6 inch range. Not a huge major winter storm, but certainly more than just an inch or two. So this will cause some travel problems, and all of southern Wisconsin will be affected by it. Snowfall potential, again, much of southern Wisconsin. This is a much bigger storm than the one that passed to our south last week. So we're looking at a pretty wide area of accumulating snow here, perhaps 6 inches or more over toward La Crosse, and then maybe even a little bit more back into the Dakotas. But again, even to the south, a couple of inches of snow certainly expected into the Chicago area and Rockford and to northern Illinois. Some of that will be mixed with rain. And the reason we're still looking at the potential for a bigger storm is the different computer model forecasts. The European computer model shows light snow moving into western Wisconsin by early on Thursday evening. It continues Thursday night and into Friday morning, and then starts to wind down from west to east, so that by 6 p.m. most of the snow is off to the east, and then we're just looking at cloudy skies, maybe a couple of flurries. That computer model shows somewhere in the neighborhood of about a 3 to 5 inch snowfall, maybe a little bit more back toward the northwest toward La Crosse. The GFS computer model, the U.S. government model, shows a stronger storm system. Notice the heavier snow already by 6 o'clock moving over much of southern Wisconsin. By midnight, snowing pretty steadily. There might be a mix of rain and snow down toward the Illinois state line as the strong storm swirls just to our south. Then the winds shift around to the north, the colder air moves in, everything changes over to snow. But notice, noon, still snowing. 6 p.m., the snow lightening up, but still snowing over much of southern Wisconsin, and not moving off to the east until later on Friday night. So from that computer model, that's now looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of an 8 to 10 inch snowfall through much of southern Wisconsin. I think that's a little bit less likely, but something we're just going to have to keep an eye on. That's why we have that first warned weather alert day in the forecast. Plan your night for tonight. Look for cloudy skies, low 27 in Brooklyn, 31 in Windsor, 32 in Cross Plains. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, low 32 in Platteville, 26 in Camp Douglas, and 24 in Wautoma. For tomorrow, we'll see skies become partly sunny. It'll be mild with a high temperature of 44. And our first warned 7 to 10 day forecast calls for temperatures to be in the mid-40s for Wednesday, upper 30s on Thursday, a rain snow shower chance in the afternoon. That changes over to snow Thursday night into Friday. It'll also be windy with a high of 34. Saturday dry, a chance of snow showers Sunday, a flurry chance Monday, maybe some rain showers as temperatures turn a little milder toward the end of next week.
And coming up in sports, Tony Granato out at Wisconsin. What he had to say after 7 years leading the Badger men's hockey team. That's next on News 3 Now.
3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
The acid reflux felt like just the worst burning in your throat that you can imagine. It's almost like a fire in your throat. The LISC procedure was one of the best decisions I've made. It has changed my life, and the burning is gone.
From working out to catching up, and of course, game night. Your home is the groundwork for all of life's awesome moments. This is Tom Coyle. My family and I say thank you. We're proud to have been a part of this community for 78 years. And during our 78th anniversary event, carpet installation is just $78. Coyle Carpet One Floor and Home. Beautiful, made affordable. Locally owned and operated since 1945.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate spring with our big spring thaw sale. We're talking about savings of 23%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board with our spring thaw sale. Save 23% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
The local water experts at Culligan can take care of everything but the kitchen sink. Actually, we do that too. Culligan, here for every water worry.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone in Wisconsin can call, text, or chat to get connected to a trained 988 counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you're concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Schwab, General Surgeon at Stoughton Health.
If you suffer from reflux, please join us for our upcoming seminar on the Lynx device, a new and innovative treatment to stop reflux.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
The face of skilled trades is changing, and that's something to celebrate.
Tomorrow we find out why more and more women in the 608 are choosing careers in construction.
And we're going to be tracking a winter storm later in the week. Join us tomorrow morning between 4:30 and 7.
After 7 seasons leading the Wisconsin men's hockey team, Tony Granato is out as the team's head coach. Under his leadership, the Badgers had 5 losing seasons and won just 105 games. His best year was in 2021 when UW won the Big Ten regular season championship and advanced to the NCAA tournament, the only time in the Granato era.
I don't think it was any surprise to anybody with the way the last 12 months have gone. I think you know, there was something that we didn't get done that we needed to get done as coaches, and I can be thankful and grateful for my time here and tell you how much fun I had. I wish it went better from the win part of it, but lots of good things to remember from the experience, and that's what I'll take with me.
McFarland is heading back to the state girls basketball tournament for the 4th time in school history, the first since 1999 when the Spartans won it all. This group heads to Green Bay on a roll, winning 22 of their last 23 games, including a 19-point statement win in their sectional final. Friday, they'll face 2-time defending champ Notre Dame, and McFarland isn't worried about being that underdog.
Not getting caught up in outside noise. You know, we're going against the last year's state champ, and we know they're a tough team, and just kind of not letting, we're already hearing, well, oh, what, you know, just kind of keeping in mind that it's still a game and that, you know, you play it for a reason, and we'll do the best we can and enjoy the experience.
For the first time in school history, the Albany girls basketball team is headed to the state tournament, and the Lady Comets did it in dominating fashion. 28 games and 28 wins. Derek Dasher's squad is the lone unbeaten left in the state, and now they get to show the rest of Wisconsin what Albany basketball is all about. And finally punching that ticket to Green Bay is a feeling they'll remember for a long time.
I'm pretty sure I was crying happy tears. It was a really surreal feeling. It was something I've dreamed about since I was a little kid. Being able to do it with this group makes it so much more special in ways that I could never have imagined.
We've all been dreaming of this since we were like 4 or 5 years old, and for it to finally happen after losing 2 years in a row in the sectional final, it was just really awesome. Our hard work finally paid off.
Tournament starts Thursday. Our teams play Friday.
Great time of the year. Gary, final check of the forecast.
What's the talk about the state tournament blizzard? You know, it's usually right about that time.
Let's not go there.
There's the live view from the Edgewater Sky Camp. A little bit of fog out there, but right now visibilities are starting to improve, and the rain and snow showers will be moving out pretty quickly.
And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.